What's up, guys? Sawtooth Dave. It's Sunday again, so of course we sitting in the shop. Gotta do a little bullshitting. No Sawtooth on me today. Sacrilegious, I know. What the hell is going on with Sawtooth Dave? Well, right now I'm in a huge SMS craze. It's funny how certain things get you started in the right direction and then it kind of just like takes off from there. So, oldest SMF I had. The one I had the longest. This is before they started marking the heat treat, and this is the scales off of a newer generation of that, but it's the old school Strider and S30 before they started marking the steel. With the chevron scale that came off the later generation after that. So that's the one I've had forever. We've had a bunch in between and before and after, but that's the one that remained. Billy gifted this to me, which I basically turned into a trade, but he still gifted it to me, like he didn't ask for anything back. I just happened to give him stuff back. So in my mind, I'm trying to make it solidified. I guess if you hadn't watched his video, watch his video. Cause Sawtooth Claus visited him and Courtney. But anyway, he gifted me this one, and I've been all about this performance. This performance is slick. If you watch me on Instagram, you've seen I pretty much have an SMF on me almost every day. Someone even said, hey, you turned into Steve over here. But, I think for me, with SMFs, I go through phases with them. Like, I really enjoy it. And with, I don't know, in certain context, I guess. For me, this is the smallest big knife that I feel like I can carry a primary pocket. Like this SMF, I never feel like I don't have enough knife. And I feel like I have I don't know, it's not too much, it's just always enough. So like, if I was on minimalist mode, the SMF's in the pocket. So, I showed I had the Apocalypse Alpha Hunter Tactical Apocalypse. It's the one with the copper scale on it. It has that crazy milling in it. I had two of those. The first one I ended up giving into Rodney at Knife-tastic. And even back then, I got a buddy, Rich, that was like, hey man, you ever get rid of that, let me know. But I ended up getting that other one from Cole. But Rich hit me up, I don't know, I guess it was 3 weeks ago now. I said, hey man, I know you still like the knife, but if you're interested in trading, I'll throw this out for a trade. And I was like, yeah, we're going to do that. So I traded that Alpha Hunter Tactical, and I got a Dwayne Dwyer custom SMF. So there's definitely some differences, and I want to take this down to the mat here and kind of go over more of the differences between this one and show you this one up close. This was definitely worth a closer look. All right, so here's all three SMFs we were talking about a second ago. So there are some subtleties to it all, but like just looking at them, they're definitely different generations. You can definitely tell by the stop pin that the newer generation of performance is different. Obviously, the hardware is different in the performance versus these, and also the lanyard hole. Pretty much right away, you can see all those three signs. I'm just going to turn them over so you can see it on the back side here. So you'll notice the pocket clip where it's attached. The older ones all attach here, and the new performance attaches to that other standoff there. So this is just quick little subtleties of how easily to tell the differences. So I'm going to kind of go into some details, but not a ton of details here, because I don't want to make this an SMF review. Y'all know what an SMF is. If you don't, you probably need to put your hands on one and decide if it's for you or not. But so the new one, the Dwayne Dwyer Custom here, aluminum scale, just like this one is. But believe it or not, the thicknesses are different. So what I liked about it is, you see, this is standoffs, like the performance has standoff as well, versus the regular, well, Legos are the same, but this is aluminum scale too. But the scale thickness, if you look right here, see how the sticker on the Dwayne Dwyer versus the standard production models, the same with the performance, the Dwayne Dwyer sticker on that one side. So it does feel bigger in the hand, but it's different. It's not like a ton, but it's just different. So now obviously you can see that this blade is thickness all the way out to the edge, so it's chisel ground all the way out there. So it does have a little more heft than say the any of these other ones, even though they're still solid, big chunky guys. It just feels a little heavier on the blade, a little bit more blade heavy, which I personally like. But the grind on this one is just absolutely amazing. And I'm not a chisel grind kind of person, but this thing is nasty. I mean, there's no way to tell you how nasty this is. When I got it, I was like, I don't know about chisel grind. I'm not super fond of that as a whole on nice, but man, once I got this in hand, I was like, okay, I get it now. But I was wrong about chisel grinds. This one's sick, man. But yeah, just the actions on it, super nice. Believe it or not, too, the reliefs, see how this lock bar relief right here is cut? I'm just going to show you the difference between these two. You see how it's longer forward to back on on this Dwayne Dwyer Custom versus the production. It does change the lock bar and how the lock bar has tension on it. So this one feels like it has lighter lock bar pressure, it moves easier, but it doesn't have that snap over close. Like, don't get me wrong, it snaps over close, but it doesn't sound like Performance. This Performance just has a different tone to it. So all subtleties, man. It's funny how like little subtleties like that make a huge difference on knife and how you want to dial in for what you like, right? This one has like the grip tape kind of stuff on this anodized aluminum scale. So this whole thing is just a little bit different like than the other ones. It's just cool enough to be. I have 3 completely different SMFs, and I'm completely happy with all 3 of them for different reasons. So stoked to get this new Dwayne Dwyer Custom in here. So while I got this thing top down, I figured I'd kind of go over this a little bit. These are the ones I kind of briefly showed last week. So Denise wanted her, I guess this is an S90 with a solo style blade. I've never seen one like this, but I don't know, S96. I don't know what it is model wise. If you guys know, let me know. She wanted the thumb stud mod done to it. So instead of just being a stop pin, now it's got like a thumb stud on it. Problem is the detent on Dyrus is so hard that you can do this, you can flick it, but I don't think you're going to be doing it all day long. You might get away with 1 or 2 of these, but I did loosen the detent a little bit. Actually, I just took a center drill and countersunk the countersunk the detent hole a little bit there, just to make it a little bit lighter. It didn't really affect the flipper action a little bit. It's a little bit lighter, but not a ton. But it still handles really good. But that's her. I'm gonna call it a solo, mini solo. How about that? Just a little mini solo with the thumb stud stop pin mod. That one's done. And I think I showed it last week, but I can't remember it. Y'all forgive me, please. I don't remember the guy's name, but the South African knife guy. I just made a new stop pin, a shoulder stop pin, to help the lock up a little bit on that guy. She had asked me to do that for her. And then, because I was doing regrinds, she had sent a couple of regrinds, but this one's the Jonas Creates. And you see the finish on that one? I was really trying to get this kind of finish. I was kind of going for this kind of more of a, I don't know, apocalyptic kind of finish or whatever else. I didn't really get either one of these, but you'll see the attempts. So this is the 346 Tucson. And when I did Javon's, which y'all probably seen in the past, I left the flat on the front and then just did the hollow belly. On this one, I just took the angle and angled it up just a little bit more and took it all the way out to the tip. So now it's nice swept all the way there. The whole thing's hollow ground. It's not super thin, but it's definitely a lot thinner than it used to be. Of course, I threw the edge on it. I acid stone washed this one. And then also did, I think this is the 390. Yeah, the Tucson 390. I wasn't gonna grind this one. Like I originally thought, I was like, man, I'm gonna have to turn it down. And so that, I turned that barrel down a couple weeks ago for Don Farmer. But I said, let's do a reprofile and do a full flat on it. So that's exactly what I did. So I reprofiled it. If you know what a 390 looks like, it's a kind of a funky, abrupt, obtuse tanto. So I basically just turned it into a drop point. It is thicker on the edge. I don't know if you can tell by the bevel there, but it's thicker on this tanto portion than it is on the flat side. But that's exactly how I like my drop points. I like them a little bit more robust on the tip and then a little more slicey in the back. So anyway, I kind of sort of did the same finish on this one. I tried it to do the belt a little differently, but let me get this Jonas B Creates right here. So if you look at this one, he's got coarse lines, and then it's nice and smooth on the other side. So what I tried to do, I think I just didn't skip enough grains. In my progression, I generally go 36 belt grit, and then 20 or 60 belt grit, and then 120 after that. Sometimes I take it higher, sometimes I leave it at 120. Most of the time I leave it at 120. And I think that's exactly what I did on this one. And I was hoping that I would just go in between the belt sizes quicker than usual and leave some of those rough lines in here, but still have the overall smooth finish. It just didn't come out how I wanted to. So on this one, I started at 60 and I went from 60 to the 120. But I went from the 120 to a finer belt. It's a Trizac belt. It's called an A65. It's basically like a 320 grit-ish, something around there, finish. And try to finish it with that and try to see if it come back. And it, honestly, like looking at it in the picture in this video, I really can't tell a whole lot of difference. I was trying to leave some of those coarse lines in there. You can get them you can see them in a couple places, the coarse lines, but not really, man. So I don't know. Still got to work on it to try to get the finish like this, but that's her nice all finished up. All right, up next is 20.5 Demco. So I know Miss Courtney just got gifted one of those. If y'all watch Apex Alchemy, this one's from Ryan, and Ryan sent this one in for a little regrind. So this one was a full flat or a full black. I think it's flat too. I can't remember what it was, but I did a regrind on that one. So I turned it into let's see if I can get the camera here focus. Anyway, it's nice and thin on the tip. I'm hoping it comes out, but it probably ain't gonna come out. These are fun little guys. They don't take that long to regrind because they're kind of smaller and thinner knives. I believe I did this one a 10-inch. I might do an 8-inch in this one. I can't remember, but it's super thin. I'm not a huge fan of the lock system myself, but if you're a fidgety kind of guy, it's definitely a fun one to fidget with. I like fidgeting with frame locks, I guess, better. I constantly, even in this one, I kind of look for that frame lock. But that's one I did for Ryan. And let's go to the next one. So all these badass knives came from my bro, Steve Clare. Now, these are not, I'm not modding anything, so don't anybody freak out, think I'm doing some stupid shit, although I wouldn't put it past me for doing stupid shit. These are kind of like all small batch CNC American-made customs. And we're going to do a breakdown of all these, kind of like going over them collectively, and then probably a little bit on the individual each one. But just to touch it, just to show you, I think I'm going to do this next week on the Christmas week, because everybody's gonna have more time probably sitting around to watch videos. So if you have an opinion, would you rather see short videos on these, or would you rather see one big video or whatever I do next week? So just give me an opinion, whatever. So just so everybody knows what they are right here. Steve always sends notes with this stuff, so yeah, I can stay straight, and he knows that I got the information I need. So brown FSD, I've seen this before. Lefty actually sent his my way a long time ago. I think he sent it to Steve first, and then Steve sent it to me. This is Rubens Titanium Tools Roan. I've actually seen this on Steve's channel. I've seen it on Instagram, but I've never had a chance to handle it before now. This is the Odom's Custom Ripper. I've seen these on Dirt Warning's channel, and actually Edge Mindset too, Carter's channel. This one I've never really seen before. This is kind of a new to me kind of thing, and after I've seen it, and I kind of I've seen it more on Instagram and actually follow on the maker and stuff too. This is a Rosie Reaper. So also small batch kind of CNC, but also hand ground too on that one. And this is the Les George MK3, which is, you know, more along the lines of semi-production. They're probably more popular than any of these as far as like overall name brands that people might want to know more of and have probably produced more. I'm assuming this is the more popular of most of these. But anyway, I'm just kind of introducing to you right now. All badass knives, all completely different and so cool. It's definitely worth a video on just these. So I'm just gonna just do this 2-minute thing and just to introduce them to you. All right, so all these came in from my boy JD for EDC. And if y'all know, in the past we done, you know, we'd send stuff back and forth quite often in the past, and I don't know why, but it seemed like this summer we both got busy and just kind of quit doing it. But since then, you know, he's progressed more into his anodizing. This is some of his work here, and he's also kind of got into doing some different stuff, like different knife mods that we weren't doing at the time, I guess, or maybe we was, we just quite hadn't got there. So he sent this one. This is that Lake Champlain Barlow. I've got the full titanium version. He didn't know that, but he sent this one. But it's so much different with this carbon fiber in it that, you know, he even got the same blade shade as I did. So of course he got blue. If you know JD, of course he got blue. But it's cool. It's you know, having not handled one of these with the G10 on it, it definitely has a different feel to it. And I can see where these would be attractive for certain people. You know, I'm not a slip joint guy, so I'm just going to leave that as it is on that one. Like, I enjoyed seeing it. I enjoyed checking it out. But I think that's as far as it's going to go with me and this channel. This one, so y'all know, like I was saying earlier about that TS390 of Denise's, that like certain grinds I just can't grind, right? So he sent this one in. This is the Sheepdog. This had the Jay Dizzle did the flipper delete, and I think he added that little pinch notch too, and added the hole as well. So already been modified, but he wanted it flat ground, or not flat ground, hollow ground. And the problem with this one is all these are super thin. So for me, there's not a lot of meat there to do with a 10-inch wheel. So that's a pretty tall grind for a 10-inch wheel, and it's really bothering me that I can't do some grinds that you guys are sending in. So I went ahead this week and ordered a 14-inch wheel. So that 14-inch wheel should be here hopefully this week. Hopefully we'll finish this one out for him next weekend, or maybe the next week, something like that, whenever that wheel comes in, and we'll get that one kind of back the way he wants it. So anyway, you see some of his, and I'm just showing his anodizing work off, so he's definitely getting better on his anodizing work. That looks pretty damn professional to me. Great job, JD. So the other two that he had sent, and I'm gonna forget the name of this one. Forgive me, I don't know. Let's just call it some random OTF. JD will probably tell you. He wrote it on Instagram for me, but I don't have my Instagram up because I'm obviously recording my phone right now. But Most OTFs disassemble and assemble the same way, so I went ahead and took this one apart. He asked for a flat, and I actually didn't read it until after I did it, but this is 8-inch hollow on this one. So hopefully this is coming out where you can see it. You know, I didn't put an edge on this one yet. I need to put an edge on this one, but I think it's going to be a much better, before the main bevel start, I don't know, somewhere right in here, it was super obtuse. So I took it all the way up to the top, so as full as I could get it. Still left the swedge and the stuff in there, so you know, it's not still the thinnest, but it's still got much better geometry now. Sorry, I'm not even frame when I'm trying to show it. I'm looking at it. Way to go, jackass. But I don't know what kind of OTF this is. JD, if you watch this, man, let the people know what kind it is. But I can tell you it actuates super easy. It hasn't failed yet. I like it for what it is. I didn't know JD was really into OTFs, but I think the laws changed in his state. Thanks to knife rights and stuff, so he's able to carry those now. So that's definitely cool. And if you guys didn't know, knife rights is doing like a little, at the end of the year, they do like a little, is it rifle or giveaway or whatever? You know, you become a member, enter donation, and you can get a giveaway. So it's definitely worth checking out. This is a Kungwu. Oh man, I can't remember what the name of this thing is. Sorry, bro. It's killing me already. Yeah, I always have that problem with this flipper. There we go. Got to get off of it. He wanted a hollow ground on this one as well, so I did the same thing on this one. I did kind of take the grind and kind of taper it towards the forward end of it, so it's a little bit more obtuse here, then a little more acute there. But overall, like, I think this is in Van X. Yeah, see, Van X steel. Kungwu, was this I want to say Pulsar, but don't quote me on this, man, because I don't want to speak wrong. Anyway, nice, good utilitarian edge on it now. It's pretty dang thin down there now. It's pretty thin. So hopefully he'll like it, what he wants with it. I don't think this is like ever was a super hard use knife. So for what he does utility wise and what I think anybody would do with a utility knife kind of aspect of this one, I think it's going to be nice. I did change the action on this one. I will say, like, the close is probably a little slower now because it doesn't have the weight it had before, but opening is super fast now. It definitely changed it. You know, like I told you before in the past, like some knives you grind, it changes for good. Some knives it not so much. Like, you know, like, I don't know, I keep getting in this flipper bothers me because when I do it, that front flipper hits me, and I'm not a front flipper guy, so personally, I don't like the front flipper. But anyway, man, these Kungwus, they have such a cool little finish on these things, the little details, like they're just Kungwu and Tucson in general, the machine work they do and the finishes they get with just the machine work, it's just nice, man. Like even like that nice little, you see how it ramps up to get that insert screw all the way countersunk in there. It's just neat, man, how they do that stuff. Like they did a good job on it. You can see some blems. It's not perfect in there, but you know, that's when you do CNC work, that's one of the things you got to learn how to work around, like little stupid stuff like that you could do by hand probably easier than you could do with a CNC. But you know, that's the whole fun of production knives and dialing stuff in, I guess. But I like this knife a lot, like as a whole. Like this is a cool knife. This is a cool, in the Van X steel. I've never had one in Van X steel, and that's the first one I reground in Van X steel. And no, before anybody asked me, I couldn't tell any difference at all. All right, so finally, my brother Carco. You know, when Carco sends stuff, he don't just come half-stepping. He goes all the way in. I love it, dude. I really do. I truly love it. So, not mine yet, but we're probably going to work out a deal. Fighter flipper, no mods done to this one. This is the way it came. But yeah, we're probably going to work out something on adding another Medford to my collection. Carco's a lot like me, man. If he got something he ain't using and you know somebody else is going to use it, he don't mind moving it on, hooking somebody up, and getting something else different. So, I don't remember the names of these. He told me all this stuff. I don't remember, but let's just call it Heretic number 1. I don't remember what he asked me to do this one, but I know we're doing a regrind, probably stop pins, maybe a blast. I think we're doing a blast on, oh, Martyr, that's it right there. Dumbass. We'll probably do a blast on this one. I don't know. None of these I've had apart before. This is basically just an introduction because he wants some different stuff done on a lot of these. This one he wanted to turn into a Tanto. This is another Heretic Wrath, I believe. Just that subframe lock. You know, I've never handled a lot of these, so it's kind of cool. That's one thing I really love about what Chris sends, that he sends stuff that, like, unusual, man. Like, I haven't had to get a chance to handle it. Here I get to work on it, so I think that's cool as hell, personally. Like, that keeps me from wanting to buy more knives, to be honest with you. Like, getting to handle so many different knives is just a really cool experience. So, he wanted that one into a Tanto. I don't remember all the details. This one's an ADV. I think it's a Badlands. yeah, Badlands. And this one's definitely been put through the ringer. But we're gonna blast this one, do a little hog grind on this one, change it up a good bit. See what else we end up coming up with. But cool knife. This one is a Olamic. And damn it, he told me the name, but I can't remember the name. I'm just kind of showing you the condition of what these are in when I got them, kind of thing. So this one's definitely had some finish work done to it. And the anodizing on it's kind of like, I don't know. If you're into that kind of stuff, I don't want to say this to make it derogatory, but just not my flavor of anodizing, put it that way. So we'll be blasting all this stuff off and doing a regrind, maybe doing some more stuff on the as far as finishing this thing. We'll see. But I can't remember the name of it, but it's a pretty sizable knife. It's kind of sort of reminds me of that Wayfarer, but it's not. I can't remember what he's called it. I don't think they've made it in a while. And yeah, Carco sent a bunch of stuff. So yeah, I'll go over this one last because that's definitely gonna be my favorite. Sorry about that. This one is another, I think this is the Heretic Pariah. Don't quote me on this one, but this is manual or automatic, depending on how you deploy it. So if you hit the button, it uncoils the spring. So it's that, you know, automatic side opening, but it's also when you close it, like after you've deployed it, you're winding that spring back up. But something holds that spring captive where you can manually open it too. And I don't know how that mechanism works yet, but we're gonna open it up, find out. But we'll do a regrind on this one too. I'm not sure if this one needed a stop pin yet or not. All right, so pucker factor. And probably some of you guys are probably gonna roll around your grave thinking about me doing this, but this is a CKF Evo, and yeah, I'm a little nervous about it too, mainly because you really can't see it this way. Let me see if I can close the knife and see it. It's just a little wonky on the tip, so I don't know if you can kind of see that on the. Maybe it comes off, maybe it doesn't. It's just a little wonky, and he wanted me to try to straighten that out best I could and do a regrind on it, but I gotta admit, man, this is gonna be a hell of a challenge for me. It's gonna be a hell of a challenge for me. I'm not really sure that I'm all up for this one yet, but I'll work up the guts. That's what he did to me last time too. He sent me something that challenged the hell out of me. So he good on the challenges, man. I'll say that. Okay, so this is the absolute blow me away kind of thing. So Nick sold Jeff that dollar bore a while back. He sent it to me. I just had to do a quick little mod to it, and I sent it to Jeff. And I pretty much told everybody this is the only dial bore I've ever handled. And everybody knows I like big knives. Of course, Chris does too. And Chris like, you need to handle a real dial bore size-wise. So he sent this guy a little. Look at this big beefy thing. Look at this. Look how awesome that thing. Look at the clip, man. This thing is ridiculous, man. So obviously, all one-piece construction here. Just amazing work. All for handmade done. I'm blown away by dollar bore stuff, but look at this blade, dude. Look at this thing. This is crazy, man. You see how high that goes? See how high that is? That's nuts, man. But this one comes down to a really good, nice tip. Nice working style tip right there, all the way across that thing. And you can see basically what's left of there. This is just epic. Epic. I'm just honored to handle this one. Like, it's sick, man. But I'm pretty sure, looking at the hardware, I'm pretty sure this is later than the other one as far as time-wise. I believe the other one was before this one. You can start seeing he's starting to make his own, I don't know if that's Damascus or Timascus or whatever it is, but he's starting to make his own materials at this point, I believe. You can see some of the machining's different on the inside, how he machined it. But yeah, this whole thing came out super, super slick. And this is one that I'm just like, I'm blown away by Dalabor's ability to do stuff that he's doing like this with almost nothing. Like all pretty much rudimentary machinery. So this is just an epic one to check out. So man, Chris, honestly, I can't thank you enough for sending it in, bro. This is definitely one. One day we'll get it out of Dalabor. You know, this thing is sick, man. Finish is not so much on this one for me, but I think that's pretty much all. When you get to custom knives, that's pretty much how it goes. Like, they start doing stuff and start using materials that personally I don't care about as much. But I still love the style of knife. It's just not finished how I like to finish it. So, you know, if it was mine, I'm going to refinish it how I wanted to refinish it, right? Anyway, badass knife. Can't thank you enough, bro. So y'all can see I got a ton of work ahead of me, which is awesome. I love having this much work. I truly do. I just want to say thanks to everybody once again. I go through this whole phase where, like, I'm blown away sometimes by I don't know. I'm just blown away by the community at times. And so, you know, like it's an investment for me doing this stuff. I'm not gonna say it's not. Like, you know, I just bought that wheel. That wheel was almost $400. And most of the stuff I get from people, I end up paying shipping. So it costing me money to do their knives, but it's all done for the love and the fun of it. It's truly what it is, the whole thing. So like when I get stuff like this, to get a chance to handle the knives like Steve, Chris, everybody sent, Ryan, JD, Denise, all these knives that people send to me to work on, that trust me with their knives, like I'm honored. I truly am honored, and I very much appreciate it. I'm gonna do probably epic length next week. We're gonna go over a lot of these. I'll probably do a breakdown of the SMS. I'm gonna do a breakdown of all the stuff that Steve Clare sent. I don't think I'm gonna take that dial board apart, but I might do a better up close on that one because it's definitely worth it. But I think I'm gonna put unless you guys think I should do smaller videos, let me know. Other than that, I think I'm gonna do a mega video next week. It might be an hour long. I don't know. It might be longer. We'll see. I don't know. And then I'll, you know, the progress picks like I did. I want to try to do it like in a faster pace kind of sort of thing. Like I think everybody knows that I can grind at this point. It's just like the subtleties of it. So I just kind of want to show them to you in a more brief point of view rather than like going a ton of details about it, because unless there's details to be shown, right? But it's kind of getting, to me, it's the same old, it's kind of repeating more, and I don't want to make this channel boring like that. I want to kind of still keep it fun, and, you know, y'all just hanging in the shop. That's pretty much what we're doing, right? Yeah, so we're going to call it. Hope y'all have a great week. Y'all can save the Merry Christmases for next week, okay? I know everybody likes to celebrate early. Y'all prepare. We'll do it next week, all right? Y'all be cool. See you next week. Later, y'all.